So you want to set up a Google AdWords campaign so that you can start to show up in Google AdWords within a few minutes after completing your campaign setup. And so I want to take you through the steps of how to do that. The first thing that you're going to do when you're in Google AdWords, and in today's world it's pretty easy with Google to start that campaign. They make it pretty simple. You know, if you have a $100 coupon that they've sent you in the mail, if you don't, let me know and I can get you one. But you can start it off with a $100 credit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a campaign and we'll call it Plastics Molding Seminars. And so the first thing that they're going to give you the option is the search and display networks. Now, search, you want search only in the beginning because in the beginning, and I'm going to have to, I don't know why they do this, but I have to change my, hold on one second. Plastics Molding Seminars. So in the beginning, you want to limit your campaign reach so that you can fine-tune it. And then when it's working for you, then you can expand your reach. Typical of starting out in any new market, you're not going to go test a theory or a new concept nationwide, internationally. You're going to test it in select markets. So you want to choose search network only, and you really just want to choose the standard. Don't get into all features necessarily or product listing ads. We can come back to that later. The next thing you want to do is Google Search Network. You can also show up in the search partners, but again, if you want to just focus on Google alone, in the beginning, when you're setting up that campaign, especially if you have a limited budget, you might want to just choose Google Search Network only and not have include search partners. In terms of all available devices, you can run everything all on one. However, best practice would be to remove the mobile devices with full browsers, but keep desktop and laptop, and keep tablets with full browsers. And we'll talk more about this later. In terms of geo settings or locations, US, or you could choose a select area. You could say, I just want to show up in Atlanta or Georgia. Keep in mind that the more targeted your reach, the less traffic potential you will get. But in the beginning, if you have a local search product that you only want to promote, clearly you would want to put your zip code or your country, or your city or region here. For right now, for the purpose of this, I'm going to choose all of US. And now I'm ready for bidding and budget. Here I'm going to say that I'll manually set my bids for clicks. You see that AdWords wants me to choose AdWords will set my bids. I do not want Google choosing my bid management strategy. The default bid will start out at $250 and we'll go with a $100 per day budget. Now here's where a lot of people make mistakes. A lot of people will put a very low default bid. There are a lot of reasons for that, but in the beginning they might choose 25 cents a click, 50 cents a click. In terms of budget, a lot of people will put $10, $15 a day, and the way they're coming up with that is based on, if I have $3,000, let's just say, to spend, I'll divide that by 30 days, let's just say, and therefore I'll have a $100 per day budget. So 100 times 30, 3,000. And so if somebody says, well, I don't have $3,000 budget, maybe I only have a $1,000 budget, a lot of times they're dividing that amongst 30 days. With Google, you really have to say you'll be willing to spend more, especially if your default bids in order to get on the first page and in the top 3 positions are going to be $250 or more. You're going to have to show Google that you're willing to spend more money. Doesn't mean that you necessarily will if you manage it properly. I rarely run into my daily budget, except for during Christmas for holiday retail. So location ad extensions, I'll do a separate thing on ad extensions. For right now, for the purpose of this, I'm going to ignore them. I'll pass them, but we will have a separate session just on ad extensions. So then you're ready to save and continue.